everybody. Good day. I said good day. Welcome to the show. With Mike, Easus is here. Garrett is here. We got a full team here. How you guys doing?
Oh, great, Michael.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, no, I'm fine. I'm doing good. This weather is unbelievable.
I actually hate it. It's going to be such an unpopular opinion. I hate it.
Really?
Already unpopular. Get off the show.
Yeah, no shit. What was it, 68 today, 70?
Yeah, it's a 60, something that 5 to 70.
I'll say this. I don't mind it now. I hate that we didn't have a winner. And I know that's pretty unpopular for most people, but I hate that we didn't have a winner. We had a little one. Barely.
Yeah.
We had like one day.
Well, it's still just February. I mean,
March is on Saturday.
That's true.
It's Michigan. You give it a chance, they'll come back.
Yeah.
But it won't be. I'm not saying it could.
It's going to be in the
again.
50s the next week.
Yeah.
I don't know. 2 days from now is going to be 21 degrees or something. But other than that,
I'm sure it's Michigan, like you said. I mean, there's been snowstorms in the end of March even. Snow might happen again, but it's not going to be the same. I didn't even get to go cross country skiing.
Oh,
I was thinking about it today when I was out on a walk. I was like, I hate it. I wish that there was winter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bummer to me.
I think it's nice, man, having the warm weather, the blue skies.
I'm sure most people do.
It's got to be a record. I don't remember ever a February day where it was 70 degrees. Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard.
No, I know. I think it probably is close if it's not.
Yeah.
But I think I heard something about us setting record temperatures, so I don't think it's ever been like that.
Well, when I was in Minnesota, recently, the one thing we talked about is because I'm doing it with my parents, I wouldn't mind as much, but they're at the point for sure where stuff like that, like getting a rental car and stuff, if it had been really snowy, it would have been hectic to them or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. But there was no snow, and we were in the shuttle ride to the airport to our rental car place, and the guy was saying whatever the inches they normally get, let's say they normally get 150, whatever.
Yeah.
It was 50. I mean, or 20. It was way lower than they normally get.
Yeah.
Super low.
It's kind of wild. I wonder, they're not getting it anywhere, though. We're not seeing it in the country.
Exactly. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
It's that lake effect snow, but backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not, I'm not going to go down the environmental route, but it's not
here
really.
you go. As he goes down the environmental route.
Not really a good sign.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad things that come from not having an actual cold winter.
Oh, yeah.
For real, the bugs not dying off as much. You'll
Fuck
get a lot
those
of
bugs.
You'll get a lot more I don't know what I was going to say there.
I don't know. Mosquitoes?
Get a lot more mosquitoes, man, if you don't get a colder winter.
Yeah.
Because not all of them die.
Oh, the bugs are very confused. I'm seeing them already.
Yeah.
And then it's well, you're up early, friend.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen some gnats and those fucking awful stink bugs.
Because if you get which you're supposed to get a little colder winters, obviously those die. Now, again, if you really want to go down the history of the planet, I mean, we've had warms and colder times.
Oh, yeah.
But for us who don't like bugs as humans, you would probably want some of those to die off a little more.
I just assume they're hibernating or whatever the hell they're doing, and that I mean, I don't know how that cycle works. But
Usually just living in your house for the winter.
Yeah, is that what it is? They're just tucked
move
away,
inside.
And then they crawl out of the walls or whatever. It's awful.
Yeah,
can't stand it.
Anyway, like I said, I know it's a super unpopular opinion, but it is funny because I was thinking it today. I was like, I don't like.
Well, how could you not? It's 70 degrees out in the middle of February, and you're out for a stroll.
Right.
Yeah. No,
for sure.
I can deal with it, but anyway.
I mean, there is night. Look, I should say this. I do enjoy it. I just also missed that we didn't have a winter.
Yeah.
I never got to walk across the lake. I usually like it when our lake freezes.
Oh yeah, those aren't freezing at all.
That didn't.
And they're probably not going to either.
Oh, now it definitely won't. It might snow again. It won't freeze.
Nah.
That's one of my favorite things to do is once or twice a year take this cross country skis out on the lake, and I don't know why, but that's so cool to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is weird. I shouldn't be out here. This is where
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I like the.
I don't. I could never see snow again. I'd be just fine.
I have said this.
It's too much.
Well, I've said this to people before.
Marina's got to be freaking out though. I mean, coming from
confused.
Arizona, she's got to be like, "What the? I thought this was Michigan winter." Everyone warned me about. It's
she's confused. But Not doing too bad. She kind of likes the heat again. Reminds her home.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
she should get used to it. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like this.
Well, it's totally different than when we were growing up. I mean, you remember as a little
yeah.
kid, like it was common to have snow on Christmas, and
God, that was another one. I hated it. No,
Yeah.
Not a green Christmas.
yeah, there
white
is something cool when you get that heavy snowfall and it's coming down. There's something cool about that.
The only time
for sure, it's the 2 days later when it's getting dirty. And you're driving on that stuff,
Yeah,
and it's
the
gross
slush.
and slushy and icy.
My white car becomes brown from like the wheel
Oh,
beds
But
down.
you know what,
Yeah,
dude?
it's awful.
This is so corny. I know I'm so dumb, but it's like, honestly, like even like me doing my little thing where I'm driving around, delivering food and stuff. Like, I like driving around in the snow. I like when you're walking out of a store and there's fucking snow and shit. I like it.
No,
but
there's a lot of people that do.
it's what it is.
like-
I love
winter.
snow driving, but I'm cool with like 1 or 2 good snows, and then that's it. That's all I need.
I hear ya.
I got
Yeah.
my driving out of me. I'm fine.
I hear ya.
Yeah. Well, it'll be cold again soon, Isis, and cold without snow blows too. I mean, at least if you got the snow, there's some fun.
The
things you
freezing.
can do,
The only thing I never like is the super free. You usually get that week in February, usually,
Ugh.
where it'd be like -5.
Oh, when you stayed here.
We kind of did get that. I guess when I went to that Lions game, now I think about it, it was super cold.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
cold. No, when we had you in the backyard doing 24.
Oh yeah, those ones. That
for
one,
homeless.
the second one for sure.
Yeah, your mom was calling me.
Yeah.
she was all worried that you
Get
were
him
gonna
in.
freeze to
Bring
death
him
out
in.
there.
Yeah.
We give him a heater. He's fine.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, that second one was much colder
was
than the
bad.
first one I did. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, mentioning Marina, I thought of her today when I pulled the first story here, and it's a senator who was. It's not dead naming. I guess it's misgendering
Yeah.
someone. Does that happen to her a lot?
Not too often on looks and stuff. She does look very feminine.
Yeah.
Nobody would question that that's a woman when they look at her until
Yeah.
she says like, "Hey, I'm trans. I used to be a man."
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen too often with that, but the dead naming does pop up occasionally. Just usually with official records and things that your real
Yeah.
name has to be on.
Is that easy to change?
Not easy to change your name. It's a little bit harder than I think. I don't know the exact specifics, but I know it's taken her a while. You have to get a bunch of documents in order and stuff like
Yeah,
that. We're working on the
Secretary of State.
process. I know my mom's really good with that, working with the women's shelter. They deal with a lot of things like that.
Oh,
The
okay.
domestic violence shelter, they handle everybody, not just women.
Yeah, that's got to be something that a lot of chicks want to do.
Yeah.
Trying to get away and
Get that
avoid.
last name changed probably.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, when you get into a marriage, I know it's not easy for chicks to just like get rid of their married name,
Yeah.
for instance. Like it's a lot harder. I don't know that it costs a lot.
No, I think it just comes with the divorce. I think the name change will kind of hit, but that's just the last name. Like if you're going first and last name, it's got to be,
Yeah.
you got to have a lot of documents. You have to be able to change all your official paperwork.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact specifics of it. I can probably get some details together for you a little bit later, but
Yeah. No. I'm curious about some of that stuff and like your ID.
yep.
Can you change your gender on there yet? Can you
yeah,
do
I
that?
think you
like,
can
for
when
your-
you go and renew your ID, because it's not so much that you can go male or female, but I know there was that whole story they were talking about bringing up like X as an actual like
Yeah,
gender
that
identity
stupid thing. I remember that. Yeah.
for everyone else.
Right. Which, yeah, well, yeah, no, I'm curious. Like, if you get pulled over by a cop, you know how they always
yeah.
have a female cop deal with chicks.
Who deals with X?
Yeah, who deals with the Marinas of the world? What do you do? Does a guy cop still deal with that, or is it a female cop they have to bring in? And I don't know.
I don't want to find out with the cops, but
Yeah.
maybe like an airport security situation. We'll check that out. See what
Yeah.
happens.
By the way, I'm so sorry. I know this doesn't have to do with it, but when you talk about this and the gender thing, it did hit me. I heard this story today on the news that apparently there was a band. I don't know what band this was, but some band out there that the lead singer was really into another person in the band's fiance.
Oh,
And he started feeding him. Like they'd be going to a pre-workout and he'd give, here's a little like protein shake. They're really
To
this
fatten him
this
up?
is what I drink for. No, estrogen in it.
Oh,
Because he was
no.
hoping
he's
that
forced transing.
he was hoping that he was going to force this person to kind of transition, and then his fiance would see him being all manly
Yeah.
and fall in love with him.
oh my God,
Isn't
that's
that fucking hilarious, dude?
That's funny as
I don't know who the
shit.
band was or anything. I'm sure it's kind of a small.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
But like, can you imagine, like humans, man?
Yeah.
Like him. Like I'm going to give him estrogen.
Yeah,
for
that
months.
plan will work.
And
I tell you, E, we've seen too many movies.
I know.
We've seen too many movies about how easy it is to do something,
Yeah.
how, and it's just not.
And I guess he was like, the guy was like going to the doctor a bunch because he was feeling really just, out of it and losing weight. And he's like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm not doing it. And they're doing like tests and all this stuff or something.
Were they able to figure out, like, dude, you've got loads of estrogen?
They must have. I just heard a very brief kind of, it was in here too. I didn't like read a story about it. I got heard it. So,
that's
but it's like, fucking people, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna load him up, my bandmate, up with estrogen, and then maybe his fiance has to like. It's a lot has to happen there, man.
Yeah.
It's not just like
she's got to pick up on it and be disgusted by it and break up with him and find you attractive.
It's actually funny you bring that up because I'm a big World War II nerd, and that jogs something in my memory. I know we're going off on a huge tangent.
That's all right.
There was an actual back in World War II, one of the OSS, the British Secret Service style things.
Yeah.
Their tactic to take down Hitler for a while was to give him estrogen and make him into a female.
Really?
Yeah. They're going to try and demasculate him through like long-term just estrogen poisoning.
Really?
God.
Yep. It was a real plot by the OSS.
What was he on? He was all hopped up on blow and meth.
Mostly
right?
meth.
Oh, really? I didn't
Oh,
know any of
my
that.
God.
Oh, they gave all the German soldiers meth.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, there's video of him at the Olympics. Have you seen that video of him at the Olympics in the stands?
Oh, yeah.
Just
going fucking
freaking
wild.
out.
Really? I didn't even know about
methed
that.
out of his mind.
They said it would probably curb his aggression.
What did they
That's
think
what they were hoping
it
for.
was doing to help? Like, I mean, or were they just not understand what it was, or did they think?
I'm
'cause
not
how, like,
sure.
Coke, you know how some of that was back in the day? Like, oh, take this stuff to make you
Oh
feel...
yeah, heroin was for medical reasons.
Yeah, right.
Coke was for medical reasons.
Yeah, so I don't know if they thought like, oh, this just makes you concentrate super hard.
That's what they did. They said it'll keep you up all night and you can fight forever.
Yeah.
And hey, if you're on meth, you probably could.
Crazy.
That's funny, man.
Crazy shit. Well, anyways, this is the Democrats in the Virginia State Senate derailed the hearing yesterday after the state's lieutenant governor responded, "Yes, sir," to an inquiry from a deep voice Senator Danica Rome, who is a trans woman?
Yeah, it looks like a trans woman.
Trans woman.
That's definitely a
She's
man
a
with
handsome.
a wig.
She's a handsome lady.
Very handsome lady.
Yeah, very, just a lady.
Just a
very
lady.
handsome lady. Madam President, how many votes would it take to pass this bill with the emergency clause? She asked Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears.
She looks like a character out of Star Wars. Like, what was the dude who
Yeah.
was Darth Vader's like
Boss?
Boss?
Yeah.
Oh, Sidious?
Yeah.
Doesn't she look like that?
What,
Kinda,
Darth,
or-
wait,
Darth Sidious Emperor Palpatine, right?
Palpatine. Yeah. Pre-electrocution.
Yep.
But yeah, little bit. It's not a very attractive look. So yeah, let's. Why don't we watch it?
What it must be like.
We'll see how
wow.
egregious this is. Because if you're doing it just to be a dick, I could see people getting pissy about
I mean,
it.
real quick, Garrett, I got
Senator May state-
sorry.
You're good.
I got a question, like, because you're dealing with this on a more real level. Like, what is going through someone like you guys are normal people. Like you know how you are how you are, but you're not. You don't force it. You don't put it in people's faces. You just. What do you think a person like this goes through? Like, when you were thinking about transitioning yourself, did you deal with people like this? Like, do they go through their entire day really just buying into this the whole day? They're just committed?
There's a lot of people who are just fully committed to every little aspect of the whole trans
You think
community.
you caught them at a fucking midnight,
Yeah,
shit?
you
Like,
catch them offhand, like,
Yeah.
hey, what's up, sir? Oh, nothing much, dude.
Yeah.
But no, they get very committed into it. Like, it becomes almost, and this is one of the problems we always have with the gay community, is it becomes their entire identity and everything they know.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like almost like if you lie to yourself enough, you just believe it? So
Yeah.
like a person like this doesn't even, maybe they legitimately.
Are
at this
you
point-
talking about someone going out at midnight on a quick gas station run where they got 5 o'clock shadow and they're just not going to deal with it?
No, well, even I look at whatever this is, and and it's like they have to be like, how much effort that would be, because you are fighting against what is natural
Nature, yeah.
and so like you're just all day having to, exhausting. I feel like it would be.
Yeah,
The people who don't put the effort in definitely have to, like there's always two kinds of trans people. I say there's ones who are actually living that life, like Marina's that style where she's always got her makeup on. She's living her life as a woman. She's going to the female bathroom. She's doing everything like one for one, like a woman.
Yeah.
And then there's the people who are clearly just kind of a dude in the wig getting attention. That's what I think this case is, because it doesn't look like they tried very hard.
Does she ever get pushback going into the bathroom? Do people?
No, people don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah.
She passes.
Have you met her yet, E?
No,
No.
I have not.
All right, let's check out Senator Danica Rome.
Madam President, how many votes would it take to pass this bill with the emergency clause?
That would be 4/5, Senator.
And what would be the exact number for that, Madam President?
Yes, sir, that would be 32.
Uh-oh.
She's like, what'd I do?
The question is,
Oh,
shall the bill
there he
pass?
is,
Those
storming
in favor
out.
of that motion
Can
will
we go back
record
real
their
quick? Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah.
Shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed.
Dang it. Okay.
Oh, yep, there she is.
Okay.
So there she is on the left side of the screen. Just
See
yelled
ya.
something.
You can't, like...
Now she's storming it. That seemed like a rather... it seemed like just a slip of the...
Yeah.
That didn't seem on purpose or egregious.
I don't think so. It just yeah, sir, whatever. And you know, that's one of those things too, where like I could just be calling somebody dude,
Yeah.
or like bro,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
as like just something I say in my language all the time.
Yeah.
I just slip up and say to somebody else. It could mean nothing behind it because it seemed very just like part of the conversation. Like that was part of the sentence she was already saying.
If I didn't point it out, you probably wouldn't have caught it. But of course, a big deal had to be made of it. She stormed out, missed the vote. A shout could be heard as she was leaving, and we don't know if that was her or someone else.
Yeah.
After the vote, Sears recognized Senator Ghazala Hashmi, whose turn it was to describe the next bill, but she wouldn't speak. Or he, Ghazali, well, I don't know if that's a dude or a girl. Several Democrat senators began leaving the room, just storming out. They've had enough. Senator Scott Survell said, I think I'd ask that we take a recess for 5 minutes. 7 minutes later, they reconvened. The chair again recognizes Senator Hashmi. The senator from Chesterfield, again, refused to speak, just in protest or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very very tough.
Little tantrum. 3 minutes later, the hearing resumed, and Madam Winsome Sears said, I said something that upset Senator Rome. Let it be known I am not here to upset anyone. I'm here to do the job that the people of Virginia have called me to do, and that is treat everyone with respect and dignity. I myself at times have been afforded have not been afforded that same respect and dignity, but in this body,
Being a black woman, right?
Yeah.
Like she's a black lady herself.
just a lady, yes.
So she can't be racist, though, right?
No, not capable. No, she's black. As long as I am president of the Senate, and by the grace of God, I will be treated with respect and dignity. I will treat everybody else with respect and dignity. She frequently calls people by the wrong names, she said. Okay, so that's a
normal.
good thing, but it's fairly normal. She had just mistakenly put the House into recess instead of the Senate. I apologize. I would hope everyone would understand there's no intent to offend. The Democrat Party of Virginia refused to accept the apology right on X. We will not forget this smear.
Well, I was going to say,
Ooh.
I've got a little extra wrench to throw in this story because I just looked up Danica Rome's been a senator since 2018, right?
Yeah.
Or a congressman since 2018. They've only been transitioned since 2023. So it's totally possible that this was just a slip. They've probably been referring to him as Rome
sir.
as sir for the last 5 years.
So he just transitioned
So
a year ago.
they were sir for 5 years, and then last year all the news reports are saying Danica Rome to become Virginia's first transgender state senator.
Oh, wow. That almost doesn't count because they voted in a dude.
And this is a story
then-
in November 8th, 2023, mind you. So this is like not even a year, it's a couple months.
Yeah.
So I totally think that was just a slip.
Yeah, could be. And it looks like Sears is looking down, and that's a dude's voice.
Yeah.
You know, that hasn't gone through.
No, that's a few months of being trans, not a couple of years.
That's hilarious. Fucking hilarious, man. These people throw anything they can use as a weapon, you know, like, oh, look at so Winsome Sears must be a Republican.
Yeah.
So the black chick, which is rare but cool. So it must be one of those things like any chance we can get to take a shot and be like, we won't forget this smear.
Oh yeah, they'll be bringing it up in every campaign forever.
Yeah, it'll be campaign shit now.
Remember when
Like
Sears
videos
called a
of-
trance person man?
Yeah.
Or sir.
Remember when
Sir.
she called a man a man?
Yeah, yeah. When
It wouldn't even be that,
called
too.
this dude.
It was they'll make something else up to it. Be like, remember when she misgendered and threw that trans person out of their Senate?
Right. It's so funny. I would think the trans person would be a little more, unless it's just all theater.
Yeah,
for
it's theater.
knowing cameras are on. I don't think a normal person would react like
Well, I think
that.
somebody who's been trans for all of 3-4 months, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're gonna get some people fucking it up in the beginning. All right, go a little
Yeah.
further down the line, and then you're good.
yeah.
It would literally be like me changing my name from Eric to fucking not even a transition as a female, but
Yeah.
like just a fucking
Steve.
John.
Yeah.
And then somebody fucking said, "Hey, Eric, I mean John." And I was like, "Oh, fuck you, dude."
Yeah,
you know,
storm out. I won't forget this smear.
Right.
You dead name.
I mean, I don't think that's that far off in reality.
No. It just pisses people off. It's just so it makes it so much easier to go, okay, this is what we mean by mental illness. This person fucking this grown ass adult throws a tantrum and storms
just
out.
Turned what was probably a mistake into a full-on problem.
And God forbid we give anyone the benefit of the doubt and go and make a chuckle out of
Especially
it.
Especially a black woman. We can't give her benefit of the doubt.
No. It's got to be some underlying thing that they'd planned all day. I can't wait till Rome speaks.
How do they handle, I don't pay as much attention as you do. How do people handle the fact that a lot of African Americans aren't as accepting of gays?
They don't talk about it. That's the big thing. It's the same thing with the Muslims and the gays. It's like a lot of the left will not talk about the fact that the gays are not liked by almost every other community besides white people.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? I mean,
it is. Well,
but it's something.
If you remember when COVID hit and there were tons, and I was in California for a lot of this, so I saw a ton of it because there's so many Chinese people in Northern California. But they were, Chinese people were getting their asses kicked and punched and fucking knocked out, all that kind of stuff. And it was like a big story about Asian hate.
Yeah.
They couldn't find a single video of a white person fucking with an Asian person. Yeah, it was all black dudes, black women, all of it, 100%. And so it was like that story just kind of faded away.
Yeah, you don't hear about the Stop Asian Hate anymore. You don't hear about
that Stop Asian Hate at all because they didn't have any examples of
white people doing
some Christian fucking right-wing lunatic white man attacking Asians. That didn't exist.
Isn't that, it's just,
and it was like the black community doesn't like the Mexicans as much either. Right. They're not real big on lots of groups. So
which is whatever, I guess. But it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
We got a say, Garrett? Oh, we got a super chat here from my coworker Chris. It just says Mike Massey sucks. $5 super chat. Mike Massey.
Yeah.
My bad. Respect on another musician.
Well,
musician.
Mike Massey is very, very talented.
Yes.
Now, if you get into his politics and you disagree with him, it would be very easy to be like, fuck that guy, he sucks. But there's no doubt that guy can sing his ass off.
Yeah.
And
I'll
play
give him
his
singing
ass
and playing.
off. Yeah, he can play for real. He's legit as they come, and he's like a scholar of music theory and stuff. He's no bullshit.
So he's a douchebag when it comes to music. Every time I hear music theory scholar, I'm like, okay, so you're going to tell me why everything I like's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So he's one of those. But I understand. I don't know what his gripe with Massey is. If it's just,
I can ask him tomorrow. I'll see him.
Well, it could be the covers. A lot of musicians.
Probably the politics too.
The politics I understand, but I try to separate the two and go, okay, I can recognize talent.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily mean I have to agree with their politics.
Yeah. Yep. And then Cord actually jumped on it too and said Eric only gets 10 cents to that super chat.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
They're declaring it, man.
Dime.
That's fine. One dime is better than no dime.
That's true. That's what they say.
We haven't talked much about this, but the nursing student, cute girl, 22 years old, who was murdered in Georgia. She's a student nurse on her morning jog.
Yeah.
An illegal immigrant has been arrested in connection with the murder, but CNN insisted on downplaying any connection between illegal immigration and the murder, talking about the Lakin Riley was her name, is found with indications of blunt force trauma. Jose Antonio Ibarra hailed from Venezuela.
Was Hose B there?
Yeah, Hose B was not there, as far as I know.
Didn't have his accomplice?
No, his accomplice was not Hose B.
I couldn't hear Jose. All these years later, dude. I still
I used to have two coworkers. They were brothers, both Hispanic, like straight out of Mexico. They worked in the warehouse, the place I went, and I used to call them Jose and Hose B because one of them was Jose and the other one we never learned his name because he didn't speak English.
Yeah.
And he hung out in the back.
And you don't need to know. As long as
he was cool with it. You're just like, hey, Hose B. And he'd be like, yes, see?
See? So he's an illegal that entered the U.S. in September of 22, but was paroled into the U.S. Okay, smart. He's been named as a suspect in the murder. He definitely committed this murder. Last year, the NYPD arrested Ibarra, and he was charged with acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17 years old, motor vehicle license violation. How come these fucking clowns always get arrested a dozen times?
Yeah.
How dumb are you?
They never get deported, just arrested a lot.
I know, and then they just move about the country. They keep getting arrested. It's like,
are they paroled? Or not paroled? Are they But on bail, does someone come in?
No, there's no cash bail.
No cash bail. Okay,
no. They're just letting them walk.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the
Imagine
new,
what
the
happened.
new system.
What it's always like what would happen to me in the same scenario. Like, you know what I mean?
They'd probably throw the book at you.
Well, especially in like Franklin or Livonia, any of these little areas. It's like they're specifically going to cities, New York, the sanctuary cities, because they know where the DAs
Denver.
relax.
Right.
Yep. CNN's report said Ibarra's status as an undocumented Venezuelan migrant is now being touted by several state and GOP leaders to support their calls for tighter border security, though there's little evidence indicating a connection between immigration and crime. First off, bullshit.
I'm pretty sure that's been proven wrong.
Yeah. And by the way, there should be none. You know what? Drop him off in Venezuela and let him kill as many nurses as he wants.
Yeah.
Don't come to this country and murder our nurses. Out for a jog, because and it's one of those. It sounds like and who knows what he did to her. But usually that means you know what it means. Yeah, and smash her skull with a fucking rock and then do what you will.
Use your imagination, if you will.
Yeah. Saturday, Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia fired off a letter to President Soup regarding Riley's death. He wrote, "Dear Mr. President, as I've stated many times in the past, your actions and those of your administration have resulted in every state in the country experiencing the disastrous impacts of an unsecured southern border. More than 9 million illegals have crossed the border since you took office. Additional unknown number of migrants who were not detained and processed, while at least 58 on the terror watch list have been counted between ports of entry this year alone. Moreover, nearly 2,000 pounds of fentanyl and 5,000 pounds of meth were seized at the border in just the month of January. In addition to the serious national security implications of this crisis, the increased burden on the state and local resources is not only unsustainable, it also presents a clear and present danger to our citizens and communities." Kemp pointed out that he had joined 24 other governors last September in a letter to Biden requesting accurate, detailed, thorough data and information regarding illegal crossings, relocation efforts, how asylum claims were being processed. Frankly, Mr. President, your continued silence in response to these reasonable requests is outrageous. The American people deserve to know who is illegal entering the country due to your administration's failures and what risks and challenges every state must now face. It's unbelievable. I just don't know who this is benefiting. I honestly don't. I don't know anybody that's in favor of it. It's just insanity.
I personally think that the left thinks that these guys are going to come over and vote their way, not realizing that a lot of the times these guys are coming from very ultra-Catholic right-wing countries.
Oh, I've said it for many times.
The left in most of those Hispanic countries that these people are coming out, and the Middle Eastern, where they come in through the Hispanic countries, come up here. It's like the left over there is our right wing.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the people you call Nazis.
They're not going to put up with it. They're just not. And I've seen some stuff on this. We haven't talked much about this, but there's footage of these charity volunteers. There's one here of holding open a section of Arizona's border wall for migrants to enter the country illegally. Has fueled scrutiny of nonprofits accused of aiding and abetting the crisis, even engaging in human smuggling. There's no doubt that's going on.
Yeah.
These kids are given a phone number, and you call when Homeland Security or whoever calls that number. It's like, we've got Hose B here at the border, and they're like, yeah, we're expecting them.
Yep.
And it's like they're not checking if they're family or anything. That could be a goddamn
the
child prostitution ring
for
all you know that you're calling and just releasing this kid to. It's horrible on every level. But these charities, I've seen these where they're all over the trail. That these people are coming north and into the United States, and they are aiding and abetting. I don't know. I mean, they're providing them resources and money and phones and detailed maps of how to get to the U.S.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? How is that even legal? Like, you're providing all this assistance to break into the country. It's different for Chinese. They have like dorms set up for the Chinese. I was going to say, because
especially now that these people are coming over like this, they're getting treated better than our own homeless population.
Oh my God,
they're
Chicago's
cell
going
phones,
crazy.
They're getting set up.
$9,000 a pop.
Yep.
I mean, dude, the people in Chicago have absolutely had it. They're like, we're actual citizens here, and this bullshit's going on. You're taking our tax dollars to give to illegals. You're giving them free housing, free rent, food, and it's culturally appropriate food. So for wherever they're from, they're getting meals prepared specifically for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking unbelievable. And I mean, the only thing you can think is it's got to be for votes that you think by, okay, this Democrat, administration is banking on these people coming in and remembering that, hey, they let us in, so they'll be lifelong Democrats. But like I've long said, and what you just said is, these people are not historically, they're going to be very religious, very Catholic, a lot of them.
Yeah, especially in the Hispanic countries.
They are not going to be in favor of a lot of the things that are being rammed through right now as like normal behavior, whether it's transing your fucking 8-year-old or 10-year-old, starting them on hormone blockers. Do you think some fucking mom from Venezuela is going to be all aboard that?
No, go trans a Muslim dad's kid.
Oh, yeah.
See
Good luck
happens.
with that. Good luck with that. Christ, they'll
calling
you
jihad on your house now.
Yeah, they will not like it. The organizations, many with religious affiliations, have issued fierce denials of the claims, and some have said the suggestion they encourage illegal immigration is preposterous. They insist they are engaged in humanitarian work to help desperate asylum seekers who make dangerous journeys to the border. Tucson Samaritans is one group in Arizona that the footage showed a volunteer from the Tucson Samaritans appear to hold open a section of the border fence so a group of migrants could enter the country. They then boarded a charity vehicle before they were transported away. Awesome. The volunteers' actions breached U.S. laws, which makes it an offense to bring an alien into the U.S. They're breaking the law, and many receive tax dollars to carry out the Biden border invasion. Congress must investigate these organizations. The group said the post was a misrepresentation of it's always a misrepresentation.
Yeah.
It's not what
Obviously,
you see.
not what happened.
This isn't what happened. Yeah. We were trying to stop them, turn them around. I don't know how they stuck onto our bus and got wherever they were going in America, but the situation with asylum seekers offers challenges to everyone to respond in a humane, legal manner. That is what we do. But some lawmakers and campaigners claim the incident highlights a larger problem of charitable groups of going beyond humanitarian work and into the realm of abetting illegal immigration. Critics have also accused the United Nations of worsening things by encouraging taxpayer-funded organizations to support U.S.-bound immigrants from Latin America. And that's where you get all the food and the water. Yep. It's like seeing those guys on a marathon run and they're handing out water cups to them.
Yeah,
just hold it on. Come on through.
Yeah, they're just letting them on through. Go, no, this way. Go this way. And a recent report by the Center for Immigration Studies said federal funding has been awarded to dozens of faith-based nonprofit groups which distribute funds to keep hundreds of thousands of migrants comfortably moving towards illegal U.S. southern border crossings. The many organizations believe that the activity of illegal border crossings is a human right, and that it's a humane act to let them in. They're doing nothing whatsoever to discourage it. They very likely encourage it and enable it. Yeah, the truth probably lies somewhere in between, like these super soft-hearted liberals that want to go out in the woods and every life is precious kind of thing and help everybody they can. Like there's probably some of that, but in that process, you're creating an unmanageable system.
You're letting too much in. Like, we used to have a system for vetting the people coming in.
Right.
If you get past our vetting, if you can answer your questions, put your money in, welcome in. Welcome to the U.S. You're a citizen now. But they're just force feeding as many people as possible in it, and you're going to get a lot of shit in the world too.
And the fact is, we know, and it's not debatable. The debate's been had about human smuggling, human trafficking, sex trafficking with underage girls, mostly girls, anyways. That's a reality. That's 100% a fact. And how people just turn their eye to that and act like this is some humane thing that's going on. I mean, the wristbands these guys wear, telling them how much they owe the cartel when they get into America. Yep. They're essentially slaves at that point. And I don't know who this benefits. I really don't.
Cartels,
yeah,
they're
sure.
making a lot of money on us.
But Americans, first off, no other country would allow this, ever. No other country on planet Earth would allow this behavior to go on. And how we're seeing it the way we are now. Almost nobody in the population agrees with it. Like it's so bad. If you're going to lose an election in November, and so my guess is you'll see these people pretend to get tough on this border issue. You'll see Biden. It's already starting. You'll start, him like, I'm doing everything I can to fix it, and Trump's ruining it or making it about like
doing
some
everything I can
horse shit like
now,
that.
Not the whole 3 years I've been here. Just now.
All you had to do was not tear up.
I kept
all
saying
the
nothing was happening earlier.
He tore up literally everything he could with the swipe of a pen on day one.
Yeah,
all that shit to like get Trump.
Yeah,
that was the whole goal, was to get Trump, and he did. And by doing that, remain in Mexico, all that kind of stuff has led us to where we are now. So he could literally, with a swipe of a pen, reverse all that and put it back in place. But, the border guards are absolutely at their wits' end. They don't know what to do.
I wouldn't try and be a border guard ever. I don't know how they do that. I think they've all given up at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're just sitting on their ass right now.
What can they do?
I mean, yeah, it's awful. These NGOs, what is that, non-government?
I think so. Non-government organization.
Yeah. These NGOs abuse their tax-exempt status and the trust of the very taxpayers that fund them by encouraging migrants to travel to the southern border illegally with resources from federal funds. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton accused Annunciation House. Boy, I couldn't enunciate that very well. A prominent migrant charity in Texas of alien harboring, human smuggling, and operating a stash house. And they go back and forth on this. Like, safe house is not a stash house, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know where this goes, and we'll see if it matters at the exit polls come November. But it's bad. It's and the fact is, there's so many. You're just releasing them into the country and shuttling them all over the country. And who's coming in, you have no fucking idea. You have none. You just don't. You're not doing background checks. I mean, there's rumors that Venezuela is literally emptying their prisons and just being like, fucking head on the trail to America, motherfuckers. The door's open, go. And so, they don't give a shit, which is why you see these unbelievable
they don't want the prisoners
crimes.
there. They're like, get the fuck out of here. We got too many problems.
We have enough prisoners, and we can't stop them. And now we got to house and feed them.
Yep.
Just put them on the trail to America and let them go wreak havoc over there. And that's what they're doing. Totally disrespectful to the systems in place, to the cities they go to. I mean, the video is alarming.
Yeah.
At a minimum, alarming. And how many fucking terrorists? I mean, they're coming from every country in the world.
See, that's another big problem is everyone thinks it's just Hispanics and Mexicans that just get a better life. It's
not even close.
Just that getting a better life.
Tens of thousands of Chinese.
We have a lot of fingers in a lot of other countries we shouldn't who do not like us.
No, they don't. And when you're talking about, there's a fuckload of people from the Middle East.
Yeah, you want to disrupt American politics, just get a couple people in here who can throw some things in a certain spot.
Yeah, half the problem was they don't have the means to cross the fucking ocean to attack us. And so now it's like, you just shuttle tens of thousands of men. How many need to be successful? How many need to be successful in an attack inside the country?
Look at 9/11. 2 planes can take out a lot.
Yeah, it can. And it took them 10 years.
I know it was more than 2 planes, but still, it's like...
It took 10 years to devise that, though, to figure out a plan just to get across the pond.
But if you have hundreds of thousands of people...
That's our biggest wall, is the pond. And if you take that out and just, shuffle them in through, the southern states...
Right up through Mexico, plant them in all our busiest cities.
Yeah. What was the one guy? The one guy made some comment about, you don't know who I am, but you'll know my name soon, or something like that. And it's like, that's grounds to just fucking chuck him on a dinghy and just go,
get out.
And just push him out to sea with a fan behind him. Just give him a slight tailwind. Like, what do you mean we'll know soon enough? What kind of fucking veiled threat is that?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But I don't know. There's something there that the Democrats want. I don't know what it is, but there's something they want by having all these illegals here. And you see it in New York. You see it in California. They keep trying to get illegals to be able to vote. I don't think that plan will work like they think it will, but that's, I mean, unless someone could explain it to me some other way, and don't just say humanitarian.
It's not that. There's got to be something going on because they don't care about humanitarian efforts when it comes to their pocketbooks a lot of the time.
They don't care about humanitarian efforts when it comes to their own citizens.
Yeah.
So, you can't take care of your own population. You could. I mean, you're too busy writing billions and billions of dollars in checks to, Ukraine, Israel, all over the world. But, I mean, it's the stupidest analogy, but it's true about when you get on a plane, and they're always talking about if the masks drop, put yours on before you, put it on a child. Because if you go down, there's no one to help the kid.
Yep.
Like, take care of your own shit. Clean up your own mess in your own country, and then if you've got leftovers, you want to be humanitarian and you want to give help around the country where it's needed most.
It's one thing to me, like
by all means,
when a tsunami hits or something, like a natural. That's different to me. That's not what we're doing, obviously.
Right.
That's a different deal. Like I said, a tsunami would be an example. That happens, natural disaster. Okay,
we can send in our
and we always give the most. We always give the most money, and we're always the first ones on the ground. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's in our DNA. It's how Americans behave. So, it's a very troubling. It just fucking bothers me so much seeing this shit play out every day, and it's like I so many of these stories, it's like, who is asking for this? Where in the country? And then you got to remember, these people don't give a shit about you at all. They don't care about you at all. And it's a tough realization to come to when you realize the truth of it, that these people would they would rather you dead than be someone to govern. Like, they just would. And it sucks. It sucks because it'd be a great system if it worked like the Democrat process is supposed to. And
100%.
And you thought these people were, just the best and brightest, and were fighting every day to make your lives better and safer. And it's like, no, there's just too many examples where they're not trying to make your life safer and better. And in fact, in most cases, it appears to be quite the opposite.
Yeah.
It's very troubling.
I got actually a good comment here from King Ezzy about this. This is how many of them show up when an entire Midwest town is dropped by a tornado?
Wait, what's that?
How many of them show up, the humanitarian efforts show up when a whole Midwest town is dropped by a tornado?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Or a big fire in Hawaii.
Or Ohio.
Right.
What was
whatever happened there?
Oh, the oil spill?
The oil spill.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Palestine.
Yeah, Palestine. Yep. Yeah, and those people are still just, I mean, you see the rivers. And
look at Flint. Flint's still messed.
Oh, yeah, great
They
example.
haven't gotten their
Flint.
water fixed yet.
No. The water, when you look at those rivers in Ohio, like the creeks that run through people's backyards and stuff, I mean, it looks like a piece of Arby's roast beef. It's got the rainbow of shit on it.
Right.
I mean, it just looks like that, like an oil slick in the water, and no one from this
$90 billion could
administration
do a lot
gives
to clean those up.
Biden went there for the first time. What did that happen? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Biden went there for the first time, like literally in the last 2 weeks. And the people on the ground were like, fuck Joe Biden. I mean, they're chanting at him.
Yeah.
Oh, it happened February 3rd, 23, so almost exactly a year ago.
Wait.
The Ohio
was that only a year ago?
Yeah, that was a year ago.
Wow, it feels like even longer. Yeah, he was not well received.
Yeah.
Let's just say that when Biden showed up. By the way, he's going to the southern border finally too.
Oh, it's about time.
On
It's only
Thursday.
been about 4 years.
Yeah, same day as Trump.
Good. Let's hope they can hash it out and work out a good solution.
So Trump was already planning to be.
They're going
there.
to sit down and have a good, respectful talk.
Oh, sure.
Those two.
Trump was already going to be there. He'd planned it. He's talking about this shit all the time.
Yeah.
He was going there. He goes there quite a bit. He talks to the agents on the ground and gets feedback from them and blah, blah, blah. And so they're like, oh, we got to get you down there, sir. These people, Biden was never going to go there.
Right.
He couldn't give a shit less about that fucking
I didn't even know
border.
he was. I don't ever hear anything from him. I didn't know he even did anything.
Who?
Biden.
Yeah, I know.
How many press conferences does he
never.
ever have?
Almost never.
Right.
Usually
They're
the
a
only time you
disaster
see, I was
every
going to say,
time.
usually the only press conferences you see him in are like the aftermath when he's walking off stage and kind of shaking hands with nobody and wandering around.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And I know we end up sounding like some fucking QAnon show when we get on these rants, but it's like, hey, show me the person who looks at Biden and goes, this guy's bang up job.
Show me the
He's
guy
killing
who's supporting Biden and tell me why.
Yeah.
I want to know why.
Yeah. And when you ask them that, they can't give you those reasons. He's not Trump.
Every Democrat and leftist I've talked to, and I talk to a lot of them, I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
They all say, we don't like Biden, but he's better than the other guy.
Yeah.
He's the bowl of soup.
Why? Why is he better than the other guy? Ask
Trump.
them that.
Yeah.
And they just,
He's not loud and angry. And
yeah. They won't even give you that. Half the time, they won't give you shit. Anyways. Hey, we've got some new news in local Detroit media.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You a fan of Rob Parker, Isis?
Rob Parker.
Rob Parker.
Yeah, I did. I used to listen to Parker and the Man.
Yeah,
back in the day,
that's
dude.
right. Parker and the Man.
Fucking man, the man Mark Wilson, I think was his name.
Oh, was it?
But I used to listen to them going to sleep at night back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, they were on 97.1 back in the day?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a revamped sports talk station. You'll be all for this.
Another choice finally.
Are they hiring Drew?
No, I don't think it's Drew. No, Drew would not qualify for this position.
Oh,
yeah. I'm sorry to tell him that he's going to be.
It is kind of funny because they always. I mean, I don't. They always sit there on the commercials and they'll say like, "Oh, Detroit's #1 sports station." I'm like, next to who?
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you beating?
Yeah, yeah.
And I like most of it. I actually do like most of the channel, but I'm just saying, like, who are you beating?
What are you talking about? 1270?
97.1.
97.1. Yeah,
I like most of it for the most part, but I mean, I'm just saying, who are you beating?
They're the #1
Yeah.
station. It's like
Of what?
compared to what?
Yeah, exactly.
I know DFN actually held on a lot longer than people realize. It was technically, I think, doing sports radio up until I don't know how long ago, but it was really low end. It was.
What are most of them doing? Do they just have like sports programming at night?
I guess, there is that Woodward Sports, I guess. Now that I think about it, I don't watch
but that's not on the dial.
No, it's
that's
not.
not regulated.
That's
right?
podcast.
No.
Yeah. So Odyssey's 1270 XYT flips to sports rap radio with an all-black lineup of talent.
Oh, sports rap. That's the best lineup.
Rap with an R.
Rap with an R. Yes. Sports Rap Radio is headed by Rob Parker, along with retired NBA player B.J. Armstrong and former college athletes Dave Kenny and Maurice Ways.
I wonder if, what's his name, will be on there. Valenti's old guy.
I wonder if they'll rap about sports.
Terry?
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be on there.
Maybe. Parker, longtime sports media staple in the city. He's done everything.
I was curious what he was doing. Was he in New York? I thought he went to New York. That was always what
he did.
The impression.
I saw him recently. What was he on? Well, maybe he was here. It might have been Super Bowl coverage or something.
Okay.
It was a longtime columnist at the Free Press, Detroit News, radio host on DFN, local TV. He did a lot with ESPN, too.
Yeah.
At some point. I know he's done multiple shows there. So 3-decade long career will be young people getting opportunities and former athletes, as long as they're not those fucking awful whites.
Go Blacks!
So if you're young people you're a young person looking for an opportunity, you don't have you want the right level of melanin in your in your skin.
You think they sit there with one of those little paint samplers?
Yeah,
it's
like, just hold it up like
hold it up
not
to the guy.
brown enough, not brown
Are you
enough.
Hispanic by any chance?
Yeah.
Well, why on 1270 now? Why not throw it on the real station? I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
You know
I
what
don't know.
That seems kind of
You're saying the lesser of the
for
stations,
sure.
the throwaway they
yeah.
give to the Blazraks.
For sure.
Yeah. So there will be opportunities, people from Detroit with ties to Detroit. He intends to build a network of stations in the top 20 to 25 black markets across the country. Minorities have historically been underrepresented by sports radio stations. As recently as 2020, only 10 to 14% of on-air talent on nearly 800 radio stations around the country were Hispanic or black.
But see, go on.
Isn't that almost the identical number percentage-wise as there are in the country?
But if he wants to do that,
when you're talking about
what's
black,
the harm?
I think it's 13% of the population is black.
Yeah, 13% is black, and you've got 10 to 14% of the on-air talent.
Yeah.
So that seems to line up with the, the makeup of the country. But whatever. Because it's fucking illegal is why. I mean, we have laws in the country, and I understand you go, oh, wow, it wants to help this group in this situation. Yeah. But you don't want people hiring based on someone's characteristics they have no control over. You can't hire based on skin color. You can't fire based on skin color. We've made it this far.
I get it. But...
So to come out and be like, oh, we're only hiring black people. Like, wait a minute. On its face, that's illegal as shit.
But if I wouldn't even do it on radio if I were him. I would have just fucking made your own network and say that's the deal. Like, just make it
honestly, just get into podcasting.
Yeah. Do that.
But here's the thing: I think that he doesn't get that because they're toting this as like a big all-black radio market, right?
Yeah.
Black podcasts are mostly like sports and rap.
Yeah.
Like, they're some of the biggest shows. And I'm going on the radio because I was doing some research on the side, but Hot 97 is like the #1 hip hop show on the planet. It's the show that like makes or breaks most artists. All black run.
Yeah.
They've been doing it since 1992. It's already been a thing in most markets.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's talent everywhere. And who cares what color
and
they are?
Nobody said anything about Hot 97. They've just been doing their thing.
Yeah. I know people like Isis are going to be very troubled that I even talk about this stuff, but I
think it's just not that big of a deal to me. I feel like if he wants to try to do it, man, all power to him. I mean, what we'll be told is if he gets sponsors and if he gets listeners. If he doesn't, then
yes, true. The problem I have too is like there are black radio stations historically around, you know what I mean? And it's like, hey, this station focuses more on the urban content and rap, stuff like that. And that's fine, but they don't advertise themselves as the only people we'll hire are black people.
Yeah, and that's where
that's where you
comes
cross a line. It's like,
what if they had just done it and not said that?
Then nobody would say anything. And that's my problem.
Probably no one
This
would
guy
say
gets
anything.
a head start in the news basically on his whole radio show, and it's like you have everything pretty much handed to you. It's a head start. We're going to make it this big thing. Now go. And if he doesn't do anything with it, it's not going to look good on him. But they're just brushing on the rug.
Yeah.
But one of my big problems is like these guys are all starting with head starts. And it's like if I got into a radio show or anything like that or tried to join up with a radio show, would never make any news. I'd never get any play, like any kind of media attention unless I really acted like we hired the first gay guy on this station or whatever. It's like that's the only time I'd ever make news, and that's not even that impressive.
Right. And that's dwindling.
And these guys are getting it for just being the all-black market, where it's like that's been a thing that's happened in so many different markets already, and nobody talks about it because they didn't have to make a big news story about it.
And especially with podcasts, if you really want to launch a network, just go start a podcast. Yeah. What are you doing, Rob? Well,
that's what I would
gives
do,
a shit if you're on terrestrial radio? Like, there's literally nothing more dead and more doomed in the future than fucking radio and TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. But that shit ain't gonna be. I mean, that's like we're hiring an all new Pony Express and only black horse riders, and you're like, okay.
No, I agree with that.
Cool.
I don't know why don't you just make your own podcast.
Shit ain't gonna be. I mean, that.
For sure.
Because this way he gets in the news and has a jump start on everything. And then when this fails, he can go start a podcast network and bring everyone over.
Yeah.
Well, if that happens, it happens, I guess. It'll be on him. I mean, I don't know.
Dude, we've fought so hard in this country to get away from that kind of stuff where we've separated races, segregation in schools and blacks and whites swimming pools.
I was going to say, I grew up with the big melting pot of America.
Yeah, you want it to be a melting pot and to be like, oh, this is what we add to society is segregation. Like, wait a minute, we've been down this road. Yeah. This isn't a good road to go down, even if it's for the right reasons. I don't even know what the right reasons would be, but it just seems.
Well, the reality, by the way, is they do have African Americans do have a heart. You sit there and try to say like, oh, no one will make a big deal about me, but all of us come from basically pretty good families, and a lot of people don't come from those families, and they don't have as good of a chance to get a job, to become an intern. You know what I did? A lot of people can't just do a free internship, a thing where you can show up and it doesn't matter if I get paid or not. I don't think they do have that fucking opportunity necessarily.
Why? Because a lot of them will.
Because they can't. They have to work and fucking.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with being black versus white? Because I could also be a very broke white guy.
There's a lot of white. Yeah. I know there's a lot of poor white people, but it's. In
fact, a hell of a lot more poor white people. I mean, you're talking percentages, but I understand.
Well, then someone can start up a fucking white, fucking sports radio station if they want.
They can't. That would be highly, highly illegal.
It'd be racist.
And it would be shut down so fucking fast if you tried to pull something like that. Like,
we only hire whites.
We only hire white people to be on our talent staff. Like, give me a fucking break. It just sounds gross to me.
I get that. I think it. I don't know. I just think that I think that it's not a bad chance to give some people opportunities that really mostly don't have that opportunity, I would say.
I don't know why you think that they can't have opportunities.
I'll put it more like this too: is that I think my problem, the biggest part of it, is that they're the ones who put this in the news, and they're the ones who are advertising this. So when we comment on it, we're the racists. So it's like, hold on, why are you pushing?
I don't think you're
this
racist for commenting.
the racism goes one way in a story like this.
And that's where my problem is like they're all willing to tote up an all black market, but they won't just.
No, I get it.
Melt people together like I grew up with. It was like when I grew up, it was always like, you don't care about your friend's color of his skin or who says what or who has what. It's who you are as a person.
Yeah, I think it's there's a lot of this going on, E, and it's maybe it's the slow drip of it that I read all the time that bothers me so much. When it's like,
could be.
Oh, we want to have separate graduation ceremonies for black students.
I know that's ridiculous.
And it's like
this separate but equal, as Connor said.
Yeah, right. Separate but equal. It's got to be separate but equal.
That is the key.
But to me, it's like, okay, the more you just like dissolve that, where we had a hard line, and it doesn't mean that people didn't bend it or cheat the rules and like, oh yeah, I would never hire one of those. Those people exist. Yeah. I'm not saying those people don't exist that are just dyed-in-the-wool racists and proud of it, and they would never work with a blah blah blah. But for the most part, most companies don't want anything to do with that behavior. And I think the more you dissolve that kind of wall that we have, like, no. We don't have separate graduations anymore than we would want separate drinking fountains or pools. And we don't want to brag and look for props and like, whoa, hey, look at you. We don't want to do that with where it's like, hey, we're starting a new X and we're only hiring black people. Like, what? It's just a shitty template to go on, in my opinion.
No, and that's where I'm kind of coming from, where even the comments are all going off in the same way, where it's like, we were all raised that segregation's bad, so what the fuck's going on? Why are we segregating again?
Yeah. I should say, by the way, I would actually say, I think it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah. I just don't have a big problem with it.
Well, I know you don't care about many things, E. That's the problem. When stuff's going on in the news, you don't care about it. And that's okay. But when I'm pointing out, or Garrett's pointing out, like, here's why this is troubling.
Yeah.
Here's why it's like, don't forget your past. You're doomed to repeat it. If you start going down this road where it's like, no, the whole point of America, was the melting pot aspect. And what does that mean? That you put everything into the fucking pot, mix it around, and you get we're all kind of pulling for the same
maybe
thing.
I'm a little crazy here, but like feels like from like the 90s to like the 2010s,
we did that well.
We were all one person, and nowadays it's like, well, hold up, where are we going? Why are we separating again?
Yeah,
why are they over there?
We talked like that. I don't know necessarily that was
really the number one
that,
shows in the country were the Cosby Show and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Martin.
They didn't have to make a whole thing about how it's like black only network. It's like, no, people just liked the Cosby Show.
Yeah, do a good show, and people were there. It appealed to Middle America. It appealed to everybody, really. You had good stuff, and
that's an entertainment. I don't know that it was really like that. A lot of people's day to day, but
I get
it. What do you mean? In the 90s and 2000s, do you think there was some horrible like race?
I think that there was more of it than people realize when you get to know people.
Yeah, it wasn't all reported as it is now, but it was one of those things where it's not in your face all the moment like it is now. There was a middle ground to it where it's like we kind of knew it was going on. There were things we needed to work on, especially in the early 2000s. We got a good handle on that stuff. Where it's like you could videotape the cops and you could see what was going on behind the scenes, and people were calling out what was happening, but it didn't feel like it was every single day they're starting a new black-only network, or whites aren't allowed on this space, or this is a black-only space. And it's one of those things where it's like, as a white guy who's a fan of rap, I start feeling disenfranchised, like I'm not allowed to like rap when I hear things like this.
Right.
No, I know. There's a lot of that ridiculous bullshit when it comes to like fucking the...
Like, I get to a point where now I have to turn my radio down at stoplights sometimes because I'm afraid of an N-word getting out in the car next to me, and the guy be like, what the fuck did you say?
Yeah.
What you fucking saying over there?
Yeah.
No, I think it also pushes that narrative of merit-based doesn't matter. Like, equity is what we're going for. Yeah. And I think that's a horrible, horrible place to be. So, again, I think it has a reverse effect if you go, oh, we have to hire an all-black staff or all-black talent, because that's that's our thing. That's what we've done. This is our goal, is to have an all-black talent. We're only hiring that. And it's like, okay, so now you've admitted you're not hiring necessarily the best talent. You're just hiring black talent. And so now all those people, fairly or unfairly, get tagged with, oh, well, who knows? I mean, you were only hired because you're black.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be insulting to them
that's insulting. It's a shitty way for people to look at it. But
so now
how
Rob
else
Barker
are they
will never be
supposed to
known
look
as
at
like
it?
the best sportscaster. He's just going to be the best black sportscaster.
Right. Or his team. And you've got, a dozen shows on a station. It's like, well, do those dozen shows deserve to be there, or is it just they're there for equity purposes?
Yeah.
And I think that sucks. To me, that's it's not good. But, I'll never listen to it. They don't want me listening to it.
No, it's not for me. I already said it. It's not for me.
They've made that abundantly clear that it's not for me. But maybe you'll get something out of it.
I mean, I probably won't listen. I wouldn't mind hearing Rob Parker again, just because it's been a long time.
He's out there. I think he's doing podcast stuff or something like that.
I mean, like I said,
or he's been on Woodward Sports, maybe.
And I think that they're probably making it a mistake. Personally, I think that they probably are. I don't think it's going to work. I think there's a lot of reasons you said are right. Okay, let them do it, and if they get sponsors and stuff, then they get sponsors. I mean, I don't know.
So would you be just as cool if they wanted to do an all-white, and that was what they were bragging about, or do you think that's different?
I mean,
if they said we're only hiring white sportscasters,
yeah. I mean, I'd have the same opinion. I kind of would say, do what you do. I don't think that'll go over very well with a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think people would have that same attitude. No, it wouldn't get reporting like, hey, look at this cool thing.
No, it certainly would.
It would be
very negative.
Very negative.
And I would say that's why I say like it'd be stupid, probably even dumber to do that, because it would get very. And I wouldn't be really in support of that. I wouldn't be in support of an all-white radio station. I think that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But I would still just say, hey, try it. I think you'll fail.
Yeah.
But try it.
And if you look
I think this will fail, but I don't think this will succeed necessarily. But
I'm trying to think, and I'm sure there's people out there that are going, oh, I don't remember a lot of black air talent at Riff. And that's true. I don't know. I'm trying to think if we ever had anyone black on the air. Now, the support staff, sales managers, engineers, like there were black people all over the place.
Okay.
Tons of black people. Well, not tons, but, plenty.
They were hanging from the rafters.
Oh, yeah, they were. There was lots of them. But it's like, okay, was that because no one ever applied that was black for that position? Like they didn't want to work in fucking kind of a rock and roll station. That's not their thing. I mean, obviously there's black people into rock and roll. Yeah. Of course there are. I don't know. I do know the people that did hirings and firings and general managers all the way up the ladder. And those people, I can tell you, I'd love to come on and tell you that I've got stories of them being, that they would have been like, absolutely not on my side.
Right.
Fuck no. Yeah. Those guys couldn't give a shit what color your skin was. So I don't know, but you like to think you've brought in what you consider to be the best talent to do that job.
I mean, the whole merit-based thing going away, that's very dangerous, obviously. The idea, I don't know.
Because especially when you hear it with people becoming doctors and lowering standards.
Right.
Firemen and lowering standards.
And I start getting
pilots. No. Aviation, that's a big one right now. Aviation.
If I ended up with hiring a lawyer who had a Harvard law degree and I found out that he only got into Harvard on a DEI hire, I don't feel good about my case anymore.
No. Or your pilot is a DEI hire.
I think I would say I think I'm less worried about it because it's entertainment, although I know it's a slippery slope, obviously.
You can't call it anymore. Jeez Louise.
But no, you're right though. It's terrifying as far as the idea of letting people in that they're taking merits away or grades don't count. We're just that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
obvious. I think I don't take it as seriously because it's sports talk radio. Well, doctor.
Yeah, but it is. But we're seeing it in a lot of other.
No, you're right.
That.
And I would not have the same opinion, by the way, about a hospital if they were like,
dude, they're talking about becoming doctors and lowering standards because those tests, believe it or not, are really fucking hard to pass.
I hope they are.
Really hard to pass. But at that point, it's like, no, I'd rather you made the test even harder. Yeah. And then only
and
those
here's the best part, too, is it'd be all Asians at that point. And you know what? Cool with me.
Great.
If they got past the super hard test.
Indian doctors
Indians and Asians,
fucking
bring
Asians.
them in.
Fine. I'm just fine with it. If we get to a point where it's like, Whitey can't hang in the medical field with fucking Asians and Indians.
Then fuck it.
Fine. Great. I'll take Dr. Habib and whatever else. Like, good.
No, I agree.
Sure. But what I don't want is someone that they're fucking pushing through for equity purposes to be in charge of my surgery. And up until this moment right now, when these stories started going around, if I walked into a doctor's office and they were like, oh, you've got a new primary care, or here's your surgeon, and it was a black woman.
Yeah.
Never would have thought twice about it.
No, but
never.
Now it's kind of like, is she?
But now it's like, wait a minute. So you're cutting me open and you're doing the surgery?
You took the same test the other guy.
I don't want to have to even think about that. And I swear on my life, it would have been the furthest thing from my mind until the shit we're reading about today. And it's like, holy shit, that's not good for her. She might be the best fucking doctor out there for these surgeries. But now it's in your head like, well...
was she hired on merit?
Was she hired on merit? Or is this our way of balancing some sheet here? Is this our way of getting to an equity? Yeah. I don't want my pilots getting there through equity for equity reasons.
No, I want them
at all.
Flight numbers and solid landings.
Yeah. I know people who are pilots, and I know how much smarter they are than me.
Yeah.
I just know it.
Yeah.
You talk to them for 5 minutes and you go, thank God that dude's in the cockpit and not me. So it's this white guy personally ain't on their level. He's not.
Yeah.
And I know doctors, and I've seen them work, and I know what they do, and I've talked to them, and you go, yep, he's the one that should be the doctor, not me. You need that level-headed calm in those positions, whether it's pilot or doctor, fireman I throw in there.
Yeah.
It's like, cop. Well, cop's not as good a one, but...
No. But I want cops that can pass the physical requirements
tests,
of doing their job, and also the mental fortitude to not fire off at an acorn.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it was. I'd never heard of that before.
And just to catch up on some comments real quick, King, as he said, until social media, we didn't even know what race a DJ was, which is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I didn't even know what you looked like until I was coming on the show almost.
A lot
I
of people,
probably know what he is.
didn't know what people looked like back then. It'd always be weird.
And no, there was was it Carl or no, it wasn't Peter Warby, but there was a white guy, and I know him, who did overnights at Riff or something like on the weekends and had that super deep voice, and people thought he was black. And you never knew.
You would never know until you saw him.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
We also got, my dad said those basketball nets are too high, lower them, because he's white.
Equity. Yeah, there you
equity.
go. See, that's equity going the other way. It sounds stupid and hilarious, but why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
If
white men can't jump.
The WNBA.
White men. The white NBA.
Perfect bounce passes from Jeff, and then Cord jumped back in with, I want my pilot to have a dead-eye stare like an Air Force pilot with
fucking
PTSD.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. And you know those people.
Oh, yeah.
When you see them, you know them. Those guys that are military pilots that are flying commercial. I want my guy to have a certain stature about him, maybe a little bit of fucking salt and pepper hairdo or a little gray hair. Never bothered me.
And a small flask of whiskey. Not a big one. Just
not a big
small
one.
Flask of whiskey, because I know he needs it.
Exactly. I don't want some disheveled looking fucking DEI hire in there. I had the biggest queen. They're trying to queen it up too with the people in the aisles. This black dude on my last flight, I was flying home from California. This dude, he's tall, he's shredded. He's got what appears to be painted on clothes.
Yeah.
Kind of like blouse sleeves, fucking glossed fingernails and lipstick.
Yeah.
Just like it was like, did you like put the application out for like the queeniest of queen guys that you could?
We're looking for drag queen air.
It was wild. I didn't care. I just kind of chuckled a little bit. It was like, I
look at it, you laugh. All right.
But
just give me a drink, please.
Yeah. I'm sure he's great at his job.
Oh, yeah. But he makes a mean Cosmo.
Yeah. But they are really, I don't know, like, I don't know that the airlines have ever hired just a gay steward.
No, usually they're
fucking
younger
cleaned
chicks.
up. No. There's lots of dudes in there. Have you noticed that, E? I don't know.
Yeah, there are.
I mean, they are fucking flamboyantly gay.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that. I've noticed that there are guys.
I wonder if that matters because I'm always flying Delta and you're on Spirit. I wonder if that, because they don't do a lot of aisle service on Spirit, do they?
It's
not like
really
a big
too much. No,
they do a little bit.
They technically do. You can buy drinks.
Right.
It's a pain and
yeah. I don't know that those like outwardly flamboyant queens want to be working at Spirit. They want to be They want to be on Delta. They want to be on American.
They want to be in the good planes.
Yeah, they want to be on the top dogs kind of thing. And there's competitiveness there.
No, I'm sure.
But I've definitely noticed the chicks have gotten a lot older and fatter, and the guys have gotten super gay.
I haven't noticed that, but for whatever it's worth, I haven't.
I don't fly too much to have an opinion on this one.
I think it's a Spirit thingy, honestly.
I do fly sometimes. I mean, I've flown Delta recently, too. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Speaking of cops.
Oh, boy.
I thought this was an interesting decision by the Chicago Board of Education. They voted unanimously in a 7-0 vote to remove cops from the city's public schools.
Dang.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Why?
Not in Chicago.
They're ending the school resource officer program as well as removing police officers from the 39 public schools that just had cops on campus. Dozens of schools also had school resource officers on campus.
Yeah.
Today's resolution is fulfilling the board's commitment to focus on alternative systems of safety, said the Board of Education member Michelle Morales. That means Chicago's schools will not renew its $10.3 million contract with the city to have cops at schools. We will continue to collaborate with CPD on its support for arrival and dismissal times and responses to emergencies. Boy, oh boy. Again, the road to hell.
I'm gonna put it like this. I think they need a cop in those schools. And it's not even for like school shooter reasons or weapon reasons. I went to Novi High School, very nice high school for my first 2 years, right?
Yeah.
There was a fight every other weekend.
Yeah.
And not every week, every other week. There was like a full-on brawl.
Yeah.
These kids were trying to kill each other. Like they were smashing
real?
heads in the concrete. Yeah. Throwing chairs. Like
That's
these kids got
crazy,
violent.
man.
It was almost like
Doesn't
every
shock
other
me.
week there was
There's
another
plenty
fight.
of videos of that shit out
No,
there.
I'm just saying. You know what's funny is I swear when I was growing up, I think I was still, I was still kind of a child of the 80s. I watched a lot of 80s movies and stuff like that, even though I went to high school in the 90s.
Yeah.
But, like, I really thought once I got to high school, it was going to be like, dude, you went in the bathroom.
Get your ass
kicked.
kicked.
Get your ass kicked.
The bullies shove you in the locker.
Smoke in
Yeah,
there
yeah.
and shit. And it's like, I swear to God, and I believe you, obviously, but I think there was... Maybe they happened, and of course, I could not have known about it. I'm not on social media back then. I remember one kind of scuffle in the hallway.
Yeah.
My 4 years there.
We definitely had some fights every once in a while.
I don't
No,
remember
we had a lot of
any.
fights, and the biggest saving grace was the fact that we had a cop on. I watched
Yeah.
kids get arrested and pulled out of school by the campus cops.
See, I think that's more of a newer phenomenon. You're seeing a lot more violence.
And these kids
a
are
lot
yelling
more
World Star and
recording
filming it, so that they want the fight, they
yeah.
want the attention.
And I'm not
Exactly.
saying it certainly could have been at other schools. I mean, I'm in White Lake, Michigan. I don't know what that means necessarily, but I'm in, that's where I'm going to school.
But fights happen.
But Novi isn't anything.
That's what I'm saying. Novi is a very nice,
Yeah.
more affluent area. It's one of those things where it's like, these people are fighting too often for like.
I legit thought I was gonna like I said and I wasn't fucking cool at all, and I got made fun of. But like I legit thought I was gonna have to worry about getting shoved in my locker and stuff. Like, I thought that was gonna be a real
I got
thing.
shoved
What
in my
I
locker
remember
once.
is
Did you?
like in elementary school, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Elementary school, like, meet you at the bus stop after school, and it was like, ooh, and all day, and there were a couple stupid fights. But you're young, you're in grade school, 6th grade, 5th grade. I remember some shit like that.
Really? See,
I don't really remember that many. I remember a few after school fights, like junior year was like, oh, this, and it
Meet
could
me
be
at
as
my
dumb
house.
as like, this guy says he could kick your ass. Oh yeah. Tell him to meet me.
That's just how boys are.
Yeah, and there was some of that, but those would get broken up too.
Yeah.
As soon as one guy was beating the other's ass,
got
nobody
pulled
was
off.
filming it for World Star.
Right.
Nobody was filming
No,
it
when a
no
dude
matter
was
what.
done, you pulled the other guy off, said, fight's
Exactly.
over.
Fight's
Everyone
over.
stepped in. No,
and
you
then
look at-
a lot of times I've seen guys shake hands.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Really?
I've, like
Okay.
literally seen
I've had
that.
fights where I shook hands with a guy afterwards.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, totally. Now, who shoved you in a locker?
Oh, this has been like a 8th grade fighting up black woman.
Into a locker?
A black chick threw
Yeah,
you
black
in a-
chick threw me into a locker.
Woman or student?
Student.
Student.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black woman student.
You said woman. I was
Sorry.
like, wait a minute. One
No,
of
it
the
was 8th
teachers
grade.
stuffed you
Funny
in a
enough, her
locker?
name was Deja. I don't think the last name was Vu because I just kept calling her that.
What
That's why I got
what a
shoved into
lost
locker.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh no, I kept calling her Deja Vu or whatever because I'd see her all the time. Like, oh, Deja Vu again. I was fucking 8th grade. It's a stupid ass joke.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what happened. I think I said that joke one too many times because she was
Yeah.
kind of near my locker and she just grabbed me and threw me right into the motherfucker.
fit in it?
Really?
I did not
he's
fit in
skinny
it.
as
I got
shit.
slammed into it. And I was like half in, half out.
Okay,
And I was
okay,
pulling myself
okay.
out of that. Then kind of like, okay, I'm not making that joke
That's
anymore.
funny.
God, that would be awful to be stuffed into a locker.
It sucks.
Like claustrophobic. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would, like I was
They
thrown
didn't
into
shut
a
the door.
locker,
They couldn't
but-
get the door shut on it, but she just threw me right into it and like slammed the door. It just hit me in the side.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. I've never been like in a fight or anything either. Like I've never been in a fight.
I never really got in fights either. Not really.
And I have
probably a couple over the years.
Certainly at this point, no desire to. But
no, hell no.
Technically 3 fights, but
really?
They were never big
fights.
What
was your record then?
Yeah, what was your record?
I want to say I've won every single one of them, but they never ended in a way where anyone was knocked out. So it's like we kind of both just threw a couple punches.
Then, or she?
We threw kind of a couple punches and then got pulled apart. That's how most of these fights went.
Yeah, yeah. But if you won the majority, if you drew blood, like if I draw blood on someone and they didn't draw blood on me, I won.
I'd say that's a win.
You know?
Yeah.
Usually I think it's whoever walked away looking better, like who had the more reasonable response to the fight.
Yeah.
So you know what? I was never really enough. I did a really dumb thing once, looking back on it. But I was in cross country, and I was just so unpopular, right? And there was this kid making fun of me, and
you didn't run away.
No, he's making fun of me, right? And this other
you had to be bigger than him.
No,
you're a tall kid.
I was taller than him. So on the team. So anyway, this weird kid from school was we were in practice in cross country, and I'm gonna sound so terrible in this, but this weird kid from school was walking home. Like some people lived in the neighborhood next door, very few, but they could walk home.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name at all, but he's a little kid, and for some reason, this dude who I really didn't get along with, and still don't anytime I've seen him from my cross country team, was like on me. He's like, "Fady, you should go push so and so down. You should go push." And I cannot believe I gave in to peer pressure, but like I was so like trying to just do something to hope that people would like be nice to me or something. And I went and said,
so you bullied a younger kid?
What I did was he was in high school still. I felt like I was a middle school kid.
Well,
and so
you said he was
bigger
than
him. But what I did was I yelled out, "What'd you say about my mom?" And then I just went and I tried to. He didn't say nothing. Like I just walked up and said,
"Fuck you say about my mom?"
What'd you say about my mom?
What?
And then I went and it was right by this pond, and I was kind of pushing him down. And he was much younger than me. He was still fighting me off, dude.
He was still winning,
holding his own.
He was holding his own. Yeah.
You jumped a kid and still lost.
And I tried to like throw him in this pond, and it didn't go well. And then what ended up happening is a bus driver of the short bus stopped and saw it happen.
And she was like, "Eric,
came and yelled,
get on the bus, you're late."
All of us and whatever. And then the next day I went and I got suspended.
You did?
Yeah, I got
What,
suspended.
did he tattle on you?
Well, the bus driver told that there was a fight in the thing.
And you're a regular on the short bus, so she knew you.
She knew it. Eric Fady, he sits row 2 on my bus.
He lives at the manor.
I got suspended in the end for it. It was.
Did you
really
tell your
dumb.
mom you were defending her honor?
I don't even remember what I told my parents.
Rumor was, Mom, he said something.
I remember one of the things I had to do during the suspension was my dad was redoing our roof, because my dad's not a person. He pays for very little. If he can do it, he's gonna do it. Yeah. And I had to help help do the roofing. I had to like haul all the shit away and stuff like that or whatever.
That's some labor.
I remember that was part of my punishment.
Yeah,
decent punishment.
But yeah, I hadn't thought about that in so long.
That's funny. It's
pretty good.
What did you say about my
Eric the bully. Who
I know.
We didn't
I gave
know
into peer
all this
pressure.
time we thought you were the one getting bullied.
Dude, I was getting bullied. A bully got me into bullying another kid is really what happened there.
I don't see you. You don't tend to fold the peer pressure. Maybe you did when you were younger.
I remember being. I had a weird phase there in my sophomore year of high school where I was really trying very hard to be a different person, hoping that like I did it for my.
Had you gone through puberty then?
I went through a little phase. I don't even remember when I hit puberty actually. Like I don't have a feeling.
But you were fully into your jerk off career.
Yeah. I'll just say like I remember like I trying to like for a semester to actually buy like Abercrombie shit. Dyed my hair, like the fucking kind of
2nd, 8th grade really did him a number on you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But so I think I was like in this weird phase of like trying to look. Whatever. It was really dumb when I look back on it. Like obviously,
dude,
but
everybody has the. It was really dumb when I look back on it from high school.
Why did I? Because you know what's funny? This dude that was egging me on to do it. It was funny because he was a junior and I was a sophomore. Now, hypothetically, we were the same age, but he'd been racing all 3 years and I was better than him. already as a sophomore. I hadn't ran before.
Yeah.
And he used to come up to me every day and be like, Fady, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass today at the race he met.
Yeah.
And I would beat him still, and he would be all pissed about it.
Yeah.
So like that's where this kind of all stemmed from.
Gotcha.
Anyway. So a few years later, he's really fat and got a DUI, but whatever.
Oh, boy. Well, don't name him now.
I'm not.
So going back to the Chicago board voting to remove cops from schools, I'm just telling you all right now, the blood is going to be on your hands if something happens to some kids or some teacher or some crazy parent in the parking lot, the alderman Nicholas Sposato said. December 15th meeting between principals and the city school board did not go the way the principals expected, according to Troy LaRaviere, president of the Chicago Principals and Admin Association. Principals were told they would be able to give their input on the decision to remove officers, but they did not get that chance. They were told the board had made a unilateral decision without the input of the people who actually run the schools. So
That's nice.
Before the current school year, 40 high schools voted on whether to keep officers in their schools. All but one voted to keep the cops. All but one. Some chose,
like, yep, no thanks.
and some chose to get rid of one of the two officers that they had, so they'd have two on campus. They were
I
like,
just
we
give it
can
a
get away
month.
with
One of those
one.
kids is getting jumped, they'll bring the cops back.
Yeah, I hope so. Unfortunately, that's probably what it'll take.
The reasoning is we're going to bring somebody in that's
This
more like
De-escalation, because you can de-escalate some kid getting jumped.
Bullshit. The problem is, and what's good about these, if you go into with the understanding that cops are not the bad guys, like forget what YouTube videos have told you, or forget what mainstream or media has told you about all cops are bad and blah blah blah. If you just understand that, what would be more reassuring to a student? A cop comes flying over to the school at 80 miles an hour with his fucking cherries blazing, running into the school to deal with something, or the guy that you see every day and say hello to every morning, afternoon, and whatever. You know him by name. You know him as Officer Williams. He knows most of the kids' names in school. He's there every day. I mean, I can't think of anything that would be dumber.
No,
have you ever had a cop on campus anywhere in the world shoot a student in class?
Right.
It's never fucking happened.
No, they're just going to run in and shoot.
$10.3 million for Chicago is jack shit. That's like me begging for a penny from one of you.
Yeah, right.
Literally, $10.3 million is nothing.
Gotta give
to
it
have
to those homeless people.
Yeah, right. To what is the benefit? You honestly think that students are that scared of these cops? They know these cops, and these cops are here. You take away completely the response time that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've got some kid in a drag out fight in the hallway,
and that was
don't you want that cop on foot one fucking aisle over?
Yeah, and that was the saving grace, is because these kids were going for blood. Like, it was not a usual fight that I was watching growing up. Like, these kids as soon as you were down, they're jumping on you.
I'm not trying to. Were there gangs in your school? Like,
not official gangs, but we did have kids who would group up and gang, jump somebody.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think what you're hearing here is going on a lot.
Yeah.
Where you have kids that, for whatever reason, when we've talked for years about, where is the humanity? Where is the fucking empathy for the weaker kid, or
it's gone?
That guy, it's gone. And when he says a lot of them are filming and yelling "World Star," that of course they are.
I filmed them.
I bet.
I can't say shit. When I was in high school, I filmed all the fights.
I bet.
I was the guy when one of my friends got in a fight. They handed me their phone and said, "Get this one," and then they go jump a kid. And that's why I think the cop needs to be on the campus. Because it's one of those things where it's like, these were not fights that you could just de-escalate a little bit later or just kind of pull apart and talk about it. It's like, these were just kids getting jumped right away.
Man, I know I'm going to sound like
fucking nuts.
Sound like a pussy here, man. But like, I can't understand that. I can't understand the need. This whole like, what is it? You get disrespected, so I'm gonna fucking whoop some ass or some shit.
Yeah,
like that.
I don't get it either.
There's so much that would have to happen. If you're with your girlfriend and someone's like abusing her, fucking shit, okay, physically. Even, to be honest with you, I'm not trying to say I wouldn't care about a girl, but if I was at my girlfriend at a bar and there's just some weird drunk yelling shit even, I'm not going to fucking go over there and be like, that's my fucking girlfriend.
Yeah.
Now if he comes up and
starts doing some shit, getting a little,
then that's when you run away.
That's one,
that's when
it is when I would run away, to be honest. I mean,
I know.
Dude, I'd run away with her. I'd be like, we're getting out of here.
But there's a giant difference between a 40-year-old man and a 16-year-old kid. Boy, you know, like we kids, all remember the testosterone running wild at 15, 16 years old.
These kids have no concept of life yet.
No. They have no concept of consequences.
I know adults like that too. I know older people that have that
but that's
mindset
rare.
Too. Yeah.
That's rare.
And obviously those people are not doing well for themselves.
Like, think about it. When you're 15, the idea of mortality, it doesn't exist.
You're invincible.
You're invincible. You just are. And I think with the advent of YouTube blowing up when you would have been in high school, Garrett, that absolutely trumps any sort of empathy or, you know, like compassion for someone. It
feels a lot better to get some clicks than to stop a fight early.
Yeah. We just see there's too many examples of it out there. Yeah. Way too many examples where we go nuts. We're like, how come no one's jumping into this?
Because that video won't go viral if you pulled it apart.
Right.
They pull that fight apart. That video isn't going viral. So you got the kids ganged up around him. Everyone wants the best angle, and they all want to post it on their own channel.
Which is a horrible state
100%
to be in for us. You'll see it even more as you get older.
Yeah, and you're still in your 20s. I'm not saying like I'm some kind of saint. Like I would have stepped in and stopped. No, I was fucking filming and recording fights. I was a dipshit 14-year-old.
I bet most were.
I was sitting there with my tight jeans and beaver hair, just like get the phone out.
We see it all the time. And nobody does. Very, very few people will jump in, get involved. It takes 3 minutes before a teacher comes busting in there, and they usually make a fool of themselves.
You usually need 2 or 3 teachers. We had some kids.
Yeah, and boys at that age are strong as shit.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was at this just like a kind of a house party with some people, and I don't know how it came up, but some guys were talking about they'd been in fights before, and I was like, yeah, I've never been in a fight, not counting my, I guess, little scuffle in high school, but I said I'd never been in a fight before. And this dude, I remember telling me this, like, he goes like, oh no, and I was in my late 20s at this point. I don't know how old he was, but he wasn't a high school kid. He was in his 20s for sure.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh no, you have to get yourself in a fight because if it ever comes down to it and you need to be in one, how will you know what you're capable of?"
Yeah. What an idiot.
And I'm like,
that's the most moronic thing I've ever heard.
Oh, I remember how it came up because I was down at the bonfire in the party and I was just being a little smart ass, and some guy down there was getting a little fucking weird about it, and I came up and God, I was just making some smart ass remarks, dude, and some guy down there, I think he wanted to like fight me or some shit, and that's where the conversation went. And the guy's like, "Oh, you got to fucking get in a fight at some point because how are you going to know what you can do?" And I'm like,
"Nah,
I'm good."
There's certain people in this world who are not meant to fight, and me and you are two of them. I don't know about you yet, Garrett.
I've been in a couple of them. I didn't show very well for myself.
You won though, you said.
I won, but it was not like I fought honorably. I fought the win.
And by the way, I could be coming off like a total beta.
That's the trans in you. That's a very girly answer.
That's the girly answer. I fought the win.
Pull hair, gouge out eyes.
I took my 1-inch, like I had these 1-inch sole thick Vans, whatever, that I took off one day and hit a kid with because that was the only thing I could use as a weapon.
All right.
He was making fun of my shoes.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
He's making fun of Vans? He's the fucking
Well, we were in gym class, so I was a little bit weird for wearing Vans in gym class. I just didn't have any other shoes at the time, and he got it in my face, started like laughing at me, kicking my shoes and shit. And after finally, I just pulled him up, like, "You want to fucking look at these?" And I hit him with them hard.
All right. I don't hate that.
I get it. And I honestly, I'm kind of I borderline. I feel like I'm on a beta male level at times. I just don't have that
so am I. But you know what? You'll get more comfortable with it as you get older. I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. I'm never gonna beat someone up.
Never felt so manly in a room before.
Well,
I got sued for beating someone up though. So
and that's one of the things that I actually
keep that in mind, boys. If you want to take a step
my dad did get sued for beating the shit out of somebody once, and that's one of those things that I have to keep in mind why I don't fight very often.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So easy
so
to go wrong.
Shit. And to me, it's like what I was about to say. I was about to be like, oh, I know I'm about to come off like such a beta male, but like when you see fights, to me, and okay, high school, I get one thing, but when you see like a fight outside like a Dallas football game,
as
grown men are fighting.
God, and they always look like shit.
As adults, go fight yourself.
None of you look good.
No.
Nothing of this looks manly to me.
But there's even when some guy connects and some guy goes down in a heap, it just fucking breaks me, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
there's a million things that are going to go wrong in that moment.
Yeah,
and by the way,
you could absolutely kill someone, and it's just like,
with a single hook.
Why are adults letting this happen?
And I watch wrestling, by the way. I know that's not. Whatever you think about it. But I'm okay with watching
entertainment.
But I'm saying I'm okay with watching like violence. I don't mind it. It's just like dumb in real life.
Sanctioned violence.
Yes,
that's what I was just about to say. To your point, it's one of those things where it's like, if you really need to fight somebody, fist fight, whatever. If you have to fist fight someone, go hit a boxing ring, buy some gloves or something.
Yeah.
Just duke it out for a little bit, have somebody on standby in case somebody falls.
Yeah.
And then go about your fucking business.
Yeah. I don't want to do that either, but I appreciate it.
But I'm just saying, if it has to come to blows, if that's your last option, then just fucking box the guy. You can get the same. I beat him in a fight. Yeah. I was able to punch him out. I'm better than him. It's like, cool. You got your thing. Got your thing. Got it out of your system. Let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Why don't you guys do a couple reads?
I was in. All right.
This part of the show is brought to you by the Backcourt Restaurant in Clarkston. Located in the Deer Lake Athletic Club, the Backcourt combines first-class service with a relaxed, friendly atmosphere and a chef-inspired menu. They have daily dinner specials throughout the week, live music on Friday nights, and on Friday and Saturdays, the best damn prime rib in town. I know Mike likes the potato soup, right? Is that the deal? That's what you like, Mike?
I love it.
Or the steak soup. The steak soup.
Both. The steak and potato were my favorite. There we
go. That's a tell him you want the Walter's favorite.
I'm texting him right now to see if he wants to come by tomorrow.
Son of a bitch tomorrow. And next time you
why do you think we called him?
Next time you're heading out for dinner or drinks, stop by the Backcourt Restaurant in Clarkson. Call them at 248-625-8686 or visit DeerLakeAthleticClub.com.
This part of the show is also brought to you by Your Insurance Expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance? Are you uninsured? Health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements. So you don't have to be. Call Nick Matthews at 248-914-1173. That's 248-914-1173.
I swear I thought I fucking heard some audio.
I know. You were talking about it during his read. I didn't hear it.
All good.
Let's see. Hey, we got a new Patreon member, and you guys might recognize the name.
Uh-oh.
Dusko.
Hey!
Yeah.
Welcome, Dusko.
Yeah. I'm going to call him Dusko because that's how he pronounced it, and he's a Patreon
You know what?
member
He's Patreon. He's
but
Dusko.
You can call him Dusko.
I'll go Dusko. He's giving us money now.
Yeah,
he gets a little more respect on the name.
Thank you, buddy. It's my favorite name. Honestly, cool. Of all our listeners, there's been a few over the years.
I was going to say, you kind of pronounce favorite names once in a while. I feel like there was a few you've said. I mean, we have some funny names, though. I would say.
There's some out there. Like, I was shocked we had a so-and-so listening. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head now, but Dusko's up there, dude.
Dusko's solid.
To the Mount Rushmore.
I don't know if he wants to dox himself.
Definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
I don't know if he wants to dox himself, but I kind of want to hear the last name, even off air.
Yeah, I'll show you. See it?
Yeah, that's hard to pronounce. That is
not really.
From what I can see.
Hey, I'd say his full name, but I don't know if he's like, let's wait for a second. Some people love it, and usually for Patreons, I do say their full names, but I haven't heard from him. But thank you so much for being a Patreon member. Did some more Drew and Mike Pause over the weekend. Some good ones there, and we'll start doing some more too with news we didn't get to as soon as we have some time. Like I keep saying, it's kind of a fucking craziness over here. But Garrett and I can do some of that eases before he goes back out of town and whatnot. But go to radiofor1.com. There's a link there to our Patreon page. Click sign up, get access to all kinds of stuff. You can also buy merch at radiofor1.com. Also, the link to Amazon is there. MyPillow is there. Just use promo code TDC. All easy, great ways to help the show out if you so care. All right, let's do some emails. Universal income. I am full 100% with Garrett on universal income. It will just raise the price of everything. Too many dollars chasing the same amount of commodities. The more money you pump out to the people, the more expensive things become. Yeah. He was spot on. It's just another form of welfare.
I think I was thinking about this more on the way home. And I am not in reality. I shouldn't even talk about it because I'm so obviously not.
It's okay to have an opinion.
It's an opinion I have. Yeah. I thought about
if there was a way to make it work, but the problem is, again, the road to hell, paved with great intention.
Well, here's what I kind of
see it all the time.
Here's what I thought about more when I was on the way. And again, even this idea, I get it. For whatever my opinion is worth is what it's worth. But more like something, my main thing is I believe that this country has the ability to house everybody that we have. I really believe that.
Of course they do. And you're not taking into account mental illness, though. You can house a lot of people and they walk right out the fucking door.
I understand that.
There's a shitload of that all over California.
I think that to me, not a solving of the money issue, because you are right. If you just give $1,000, then whatever.
Yeah, it's
but
not
I think in my perfect world, the situation would really be maybe not necessarily a universal income, but it would just be okay, everybody after fucking 21 or 18, whatever, build a shitload of these fucking tiny houses.
Well, you're kind of explaining Section 8 right now.
No,
that's a different problem.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. No, but for free, everybody in the fucking country, not just, and they all have to be the same. Little tiny house, you get fucking maybe a room.
You sounded very Chinese too.
Maybe so.
Very communist.
Look, that's what I think, though.
Everyone gets a certain baseline to start
I think that we should all of us. I think once you become an adult, every human in America should be allowed a certain baseline of a house. And whatever you do, if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. That's on you then. And
which they will.
And people will. But if they do, then I just wouldn't feel as bad. I wouldn't feel as bad about it, knowing like, look at dude. Here is the deal. Everyone knew you got it. And also, like, of course there should be incentive. I do not want full-on socialism or communism. There needs to be incentive for jobs to do better, to better yourself in your job, to get smarter, to go to college.
This is the problem with the bleeding heart liberal, though, because you only see the upside potential. Yeah. And it's like, how many times do we have to see these things are absolute disasters? Well, I don't think it's ever. And when the government's running a program, it's the worst it could possibly be run. They're garbage.
I agree.
They're garbage at doing it. And so you get to a point where it's like, you know what? They can't even do this now. Just keep the fucking country safe. That's your job. Yeah.
No, I
agree.
You
do that, and then fuck off. Leave us alone. Leave us alone.
I agree.
You can't do social programs for everybody in the country. You just, dude.
But see, to me, again, my whole thing is like, if we could somehow, and I get it, but if you could give a baseline, you turn 18, you get a little 1-bedroom fucking shack with an actual address, and at least you can say, hey, everyone had a chance where you did have your own place, you could have got a job, you didn't have to worry about rent or some shit like that. I think that would be my.
Yeah, it's a fantasy. It just is. I know. But it's I appreciate where your head is, E, and I agree on some level. If there was a way to do it, because they're already wasting. Hold on, they're already wasting trillions of dollars. That's the ironic and funny part about it. The money's already there. They're blowing it all over the globe.
You know what, Ryan?
On dumb shit. So they could easily, without anybody even feeling it, they could do something like that. The problem is the people in charge of that are total fucking zeros.
I know.
And so it'll never happen.
Well, I don't think they want to solve it. That's another thing
of course
too,
they don't.
So, I mean...
Actually, I got a wrench to throw in this. Surprisingly, my brother's in here.
No.
He never listens.
Nice.
He said, I think people should pass a financial literacy test before getting anything expensive like housing or direct money from the government.
That's a great idea.
You should be able to show that you know how to operate money or hold a budget.
Yeah, that would never work, though, Garrett's brother. It'd be because it'd be racist, because you'd have a lot of fucking people that can't read or write in charge of that. But yeah, what you're talking about is having something to prove that you're not a total zero. Well, the problem is there's a lot of total zeros out there. And what do you do with them? You just end up with and they seem to reproduce faster than anybody. So you just end up with maybe it works for a year. Go 15 years down the road, and now you've got a bigger pile of losers who have fucking broken whatever they had.
Well, it's funny,
whatever you tried.
I was gonna say, how long before those people just start living in those houses or the rest of their life rent free, and then just grabbing a camper and hitting the fucking road and just living off that government house?
Yeah, but I think he would be fine with that if it was your.
No, my whole. Whatever. You know what my thing is. I was gonna say, it's funny. I was just listening to Mike Judge on when I was on the flight. I was trying because I was on Spirit, so I didn't get the free TV. So I downloaded some Joe Rogans and I saw Mike Judge. I always fucking I love.
He was terrible on there. I thought.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
He was not good.
No, he wasn't. It was a short interview.
Yeah,
it wasn't great.
It was boring.
It's too bad.
You can liven it up so quick. Just go, dude. Give me 5 minutes of Beavis and Butthead. Give me 5 minutes. I know.
You can just give me a Hank Hill for a minute.
Can you do Hank Hill for a minute?
I didn't love it.
But Joe doesn't even waste 5 minutes doing that. It's like, dude, this was a colossal bomb of an interview with Mike Judge, in my opinion.
I agree. I
thought it was boring as shit.
I agree. I didn't love it, but it just made me remind when you talk about dumb people, and they were talking about Idiocracy and how in Idiocracy there's the one couple in the movie that's like actually like, well, should we have children? Well, with the market.
Well, wait,
and stuff,
yeah.
And then it's just everybody else, like the family, they're just having fucking
the
10
white
kids
trash.
at a time. Yeah.
That's how it goes.
It is.
Dude,
I
more and more believe that there was another society here tens of thousands of years ago, who knows what, that were brilliant.
Yeah.
That probably explains the pyramids. I know other people have talked about this too. That just, I think it's hilarious as a concept that the smart people died off and you're left with a bunch of us walking around, and it's like, do you know how to make a bullet?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you probably do. Do you know how to make a fucking light bulb?
Yeah.
No, I don't. And when they run out, it's like now you've just got a pile of idiots.
No.
Because smart people plan and smart people go, now's not the right time, and they're only going to have 1.5 kids, and
right.
You know, the other people are just fucking all the time at the trailer.
Well, it feels good.
It's
free.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Mike on Drew. Well, I'm going to be the asshole.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. You didn't like me. I didn't like the Drew and Mike podcast with you on. I found myself only giving a shit when you were talking.
Wow, you got to find yourself a real boyfriend here, Mike.
Wow. You, sir, are a natural showrunner.
Signed to Mrs. Walters.
Signed Mike Walters. And should always run your own game. Drew and company sounded to me like former radio guys wanting to be radio guys. I left Detroit before Drew and Mike were on, so I have no memories or loyalty. But you run a good show and an original show. Keep it up. Oh, by the way, the Woke Bay is years ahead of the guy Drew had running the board. The guy's a pro.
Brandon?
Yeah.
I actually think he's one of the funnier parts of the Drew and Mike show.
Yeah, he's actually good. I totally agree.
He's got to have a monster of a board, too.
Yeah, he does.
As far as drops go, I was going to say, as far as drops go, I want to know that kind of layout because he's pulling these things up faster than you can think about them.
Yeah, he's got a whole program there. But I was talking to Bentley a lot last night, and we'll have him on both of them. We're going to have them come over.
Can I yell about his Jim's picks in person?
Yeah, fuck yeah, you can. Of course you can. From James to Garrett.
Oh.
Very informative. I did not know muzzies weren't ninjas. Wow. I know that came up in something. What is that a reference?
It was when I called a Muslim lady a ninja when I was like 4 years old.
That's right. I didn't know muzzies weren't ninjas. All right, there you go.
All right. Learn something new every day.
This goes back away. I've got a pile of emails, so this goes back to the drop show. We'll end on this one. Guys, the drop show was awesome. Loved hearing the old clips, remembering where they all came from. Get out of my car. God damn you to hell. That is a good one.
We didn't play that one. I got to find that one still.
Get out of my car now.
Get out of my car. God damn you to hell.
Out of my car now. God damn you to hell.
God, is he mad?
He's so mad.
That is a level of mad. I don't even.
Yeah. He could kill someone. If he had a gun in his hand, he would have shot that bitch.
Yeah.
He would have. I can still just feel the anger and how that guy is about to go fucking nuclear. I'm sure we can all relate. Glad we finally have someone sitting in the chair that will bring them back. Speaking of which, Garrett has been killing it. Research on the fly, interactive with the chat, and bringing different points of view. Exactly what this show is needed.
Oh.
Good day. I said good day. That's from Woody.
Cool. Thank you, Woody.
Yeah. So
Woody Harrelson?
Are these all your buddies? Are all your buddies
I
emailing in?
My family's in the chat over here, so it's like there's my buddies. They're already in the chat.
They love you,
They're
dude.
not emailing.
I'm not shocked. I knew you'd be good just from my interactions with you. But it's kind of surprising how the emails just keep coming in and people that just love you. They really do. It's great.
Good.
So,
I'm showing well.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we end it there? Isis, you're not here tomorrow. You're going to be with the little one.
With the kid.
Yep. Taking care of the baby. You know, you could bring her over here and we could set her on a little.
I'll talk to her.
Let's put her on a mic.
I'll talk to her. Lauren's not. You know, she's different than me. She's not a big.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put the cat on mic, ask her the hard
I'm not saying she
questions.
wouldn't find it interesting coming here, but she's not one who likes her personal stuff out as much. I mean,
no, we don't need to talk about it. I just mean while you're babysitting.
No, we'll
If you
talk
want
to the baby.
Bring
Yeah,
her over
we
for
can
an hour
see.
and a half
Yeah,
and
we
just
can-
put her in a little bouncy on the couch.
Yeah.
We don't have to show her or talk about it.
Yeah,
I want to hear that baby's their takes on the immigration crisis right now.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
she's got a lot
she's
of
not. She just says mostly all she says now is like dog. She says dog and ball.
Okay,
And
good.
she says bye now. She says bye now.
How old is she now?
Like 1.5.
1.5. Okay,
Maybe a
she's
little
going to start
less than-
talking a lot.
No. She's finally last week. She put a sentence where she said like bye dog. She's saying bye and something now.
Oh,
I don't
bye
know.
dog.
Yeah,
That's
bye
good.
dog.
Bye, doggy.
Bye dog. I don't know.
Do they have a dog?
No, but they have neighbors that have a dog.
Oh.
And they have cats, and when she says cat, she goes. But
Yeah.
but the dog, she loves dogs, dude.
Yeah.
When a fucking dog,
She'd love Cece.
She would. No,
Yeah.
when dogs go by, so like if you're holding her by the window or something, a dog. I mean, she sees him from a block down. Like,
Yeah.
dog. and if I'm holding her and the fucking neighbor's dogs are out, I'll just instantly bring her into this little outdoor kind of patio,
Yeah.
covered patio, and she just fucking like dog, and
Yeah.
they're gonna need to get. My sister's never had a dog. I think they're gonna have to.
They're
gonna
have to get
at some
one.
point.
Well, bring her over, dude. If your sister's up for it, you could do a show.
I'll mention it.
You can have her here because I know you love spending every minute you can with her.
I do,
especially since you're going to be gone in just a couple quick months.
Yeah, for sure.
For a while, so. Yeah, and by the time you come back, the thing will be totally different. Running around, talking.
It's fucking different every week. And I know I'm not. Anyone that's had a kid that's listening, they
all
all know. They all fucking know already. But it's new to me.
We ragged on it for so long.
I got an offer here.
New to me, though.
What's that?
He's got an offer here. Anthony said, "I'll buy you a tiny house to leave the manor voluntarily."
I would. I fucking. You know, funny thing I will say about that.
He doesn't have property to set it up on. That's the problem.
He's got the manor property.
Yeah, I could put it in the backyard. You know, I was thinking. You know, really, I've spent over the last 3 years more than half my life outside. Like I've lived out of the house.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm living in the house regularly.
Yeah.
The last 3 years. Going into now 4. Once I go into this next year, I'll be going on 4 years of spending at least 7 months. Outside of the house.
I know.
I know. Whatever.
All right.
I get a little sensitive about it.
Yeah, I know.
Jokes are easy.
It's okay. They are easy. They do write themselves. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. We'll be back. Garrett and I will be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Yeah.